Hi, it's Tracey Campbell here with my first layout for 2021 for Confessions of a Paper Addict Design Team. For the January release, I have chosen the Summer 2 cut file. And I'm going to quickly show you how to do it here and how I've used it. And I started off the page by making a background for my photo in the cut file. I've used a bit of the Colour Blast Shimmer Dust in a Duke colour. You spray a tiny little bit of amount on it and you activate it with water, and it makes a fantastic spludge pattern formation across the page. And then I have added some Colour Blast shimmer sprays and colour sprays in Caribbean Sapphire and Singing the Blues. Now I've used a variety of blues to, I kind of want to create a water background look, and I want to have different, I suppose, colours throughout the blue. Different tones of blue, different hues of blue, I suppose you could say. So I'm putting it on in a various of ways, either spraying or flicking, and then moving the page around just to move the pattern across the page. And I also roll it every now and then with some paper towel. That takes off the top, but it leaves the absorption of the colour onto the paper, and then give it a little bit of time to dry. And while it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting out my cut file backing pieces. But as you can see, I decided to use more blue. I wanted a bit more darker. So, here I go, rolling it again. So I think I'm happy with it at this stage. And I'm going to now put a bit of motion across the page. So what I've done is I've taken a stencil. This is the Colour Blast stencil footprints, and I'm using the wave pattern section of it with some colour paste in Singing the Blue or Polar. Either of the blues would work for this technique I'm using. And I'm just putting a bit of the wave motion across the page and giving it more of a moving water look, I suppose. Now it's gone to the side. Okay, looking for what colours I'm going to use to back my cut file with. I decided to go with the brighter colours in this paper pad, and just deciding which ones will work with the blues, what kind of bright bold colours for summer that I want. And I've got a few different ones there, so then it's a matter of simply just tracing the inside of the cut file, and then once I've traced it with a pencil, I just cut around the outside of the pencil line, leaving probably about a millimetre and a half around the outside of the pencil line. This just gives me a little bit of a border to put glue, put the glue on the cut file, as you'll see in a minute, but it gives a little bit of a border, so that's what I can put down, and the glue adheres to that and sticks it to the backing file of the cut file. These are my new pair of scissors I bought. I've had them a couple of months now. It's the first time I've had scissors without the thumb hole and finger holes in them, and I'm actually enjoying them. They're a lot easier on my fingers and on my wrists, where I get a bit of arthritis at times, so yeah, it's been working good. And there I go, just putting the first letter, S, and the E in the same colours. So I'm going to use the same pattern paper, but use it a couple of different times on each letter. Oh, sorry, for each word. Each letter in the word. Getting a bit tongue-tied as I usually do. And yeah, just trimming off a bit of the excess where I didn't cut it quite thin enough. And you can see the colour underneath the cut file, or sticking out from around the outside of the cut file. I am just going to show you how I do the summer word, and then I'm going to go ahead and do back the line with the togs and the thongs hanging off it. I don't think you need to see me back everything. It'd get a bit boring otherwise, and you've got better things to do, I'm sure, and more videos to watch. And just keep going until I'm happy with how the patterns go on, and I see the colour through the word or the title. And just using different colours and a random randomness to how I am doing it. I'm not doing the pattern papers in any set pattern on the word, just picking one and sticking it down. The cut files in the shop this month, the January releases, are all a little bit wonderful. There's some for celebration, New Year's, and there's some summer files in there. It's a little bit of everything for everyone, and they're such as they are that they are really nicely cut, or they cut really nicely on your cutting machines, and they're quite detailed too, which is a lot of fun. Just popping the last letter in this R in summer, and there we have it. A little bit of a trim off the excess, and I'm quite happy with how the colours worked. I'm just going to quickly do, I think, 2 of the thongs before I edit it out. And I'm just, because there's a little bit of the different colour or cutout on the thong part that goes over your foot, I just wanted to make that in a brighter colour than what I was backing the bottom of the thong as, the foot part of the thong. So a bit of purple and green, I believe it is. Here in Australia we call them thongs. I know for those that are overseas, thongs mean something different. I guess I could say flip-flops, but to us they're thongs. Yes, I know, a bit of a double meaning here in Australia now, with us in Australia taking on a lot of American words and influences, I guess. Yes, a thong here also does mean various undergarments, I suppose. A little strip of material undergarments. And just backing the flip-flop or the thong. I've changed the glue that I'm using. I used to use a Glossy Accents or Dimensional Magic glue, but I've now gone into these sticky glue pens. I've got a little bit more control, and I don't seem to be as messy when I'm using these anymore. However, they do stick a lot quicker than what the Glossy Accents did, so it limits me in how much time I've got when I can take something off before it sticks down and I rip the paper. I'm kind of enjoying changing things up a little bit, but this year I've decided I am having a little bit of a stop spending. We've just moved from Canberra to the Jervis Bay area, so New South Wales South Coast. It's absolutely beautiful here, but that we are limited with what scrapbook stores are around. I know I can always shop online. It's now 30-40 minutes to Spotlight, my nearest shop, where I can get some cardstock and whatnot. So I'm going to limit myself and use what I've got in my stash. I've got so much in my stash, it's incredible, and moving just reaffirmed in my mind of how much I do have and how much I need to use before I buy some more. It's not going to be a total stop because, you know, there's going to be 1 or 2 collections that I absolutely love and must have. A lot of the Cocoa Vanilla collections and also the Colour Blast collections. I cannot say no to those. So, yeah, it's going to be challenging, but it's going to be fun as well. And maybe challenge myself to use my huge box of just my scraps first. I've got scraps of everything. I keep from little sizes to big sizes, and it's actually the perfect time to pull out my scrap box when I am using these cut files. Don't have to eat into a whole new page or brand new page or collection. I can just mix and match from my scrap pile. I've probably got enough to sustain me all year just in my scrap pile, actually. But I will be spreading out a little bit more. And just doing the bathers on the line now. I actually thought I'd cut this out a little bit more than I had, obviously. But that's okay. We can all sit here and enjoy me backing my cut files. And I did cut 2 of the clothesline looks, because my thought process when I was cutting it is that I knew I was going to use the word summer as a title, but I was thinking I wanted 3 lines across, so summer's quite big, and the one line clothesline effect was a little bit smaller, but I wanted to balance it out, so I cut 2. And that's the photo of my daughter in her cute little ponytails, enjoying a nice swim at Hillary's in Western Australia before we moved over to the east coast. So what I'm doing now is just cutting some of the scraps that I've got left over from backing the cut files into into similar shapes and sizes of the photo, so I can use these to mat my photo. I'm going to do quite a thick photo mat and build it up in lots of layers. So now I'm just going to have a play in how I'm building it up. So I'm actually just going to staple it. I'm going to whack it together and staple it, not take too much time thinking about it, just go ahead and do it. This year, that's another of my mottos, is just do it. I feel like a Nike ad. I want to scrap more pages in quicker times. So I'm decided I'm not going to think about what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead, do it, see if I like it. If I don't like it, I'm sure I'll like it in the long run. I'll just keep playing until I do. But the idea is just to get things down on paper. And what I'm doing now is I'm just rolling and using my nails to bend bend the matting up a little bit to give it a bit more texture, build up off the page, make the layers stand out a bit more. I'm whacking some 3-dimensional tape underneath them as well to once again give that depth to the photo. I'm so sorry about the glare. My lighting is not the best here, and I've had to use some lamps. I am looking into what I'm going to be doing for some better lighting, because that glare on the photo is terrible. Okay, so I've decided on the layout and where I'm going to put the word summer and the 2 clotheslines. And I've decided that over on the left there's too much blue there, so I'm actually going to put a sunburst type thing. So I'm using the Colour Blast Circulate stencil and Colour Paste in Sunshine, I believe it is. If it's not Sunshine, it'll be Bling, the 2 of my favourite yellows. And I'm adding some pre-cut die cuts to the page, so in water themes. Now these are just cheap ones that I got from the reject shop. They were actually in the packet, very, very cheap, and in a mermaid and narwhal kind of theme, summertime theme. I must admit they were cute, and I've ended up getting 2 packets, so I'm trying to use them all, and being the cheaper ones I kind of use a lot and don't have to think about it. And there's my page all finished. Well, thanks for popping in. I hope you enjoyed this cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict. Please stop into the Etsy store. The link is going to be written up very soon. Make sure you pop in and see what's happening this summer and January. There's some wonderful cut files. Thanks and goodbye.